A developing story we've been following all day. A teacher fired at least one shot in a classroom at Dalton High School. Police say a witness heard gunfire and called police. We have multiple crews gathering new information about what happened. We begin with David Carroll, live in Dalton.
Well, Cindy, this afternoon, Dalton High School was a scene of panic and chaos. You had students running down the hall after a very frightening situation. 53-year-old Randall Davidson, a 14-year social studies and history teacher here at Dalton High School, apparently barricaded himself into a room. The principal tried to communicate with him, and that was not going to happen. And the principal heard a gunshot, and that's when students started running everywhere. Of course, during the past couple of weeks, we've had so many threats and scary situations in schools across the United States. As it turned out, he did not shoot himself. He did not shoot any student. He apparently shot that bullet through a window, but certainly it caused a great deal of panic. Now, here's what we know about Mr. Davidson. He has been here since 14 years. He's well known as the voice of the Catamounts in football and basketball. He even wrote a book about the Dalton sports program. And very well respected, very well liked among the students and faculty here at Dalton High School. So this certainly came as a surprise. He was certainly apprehended by police and has been undergoing various examinations, just whether it be physical, mental, just to determine what caused this gunfire to erupt here at Dalton today. Once again, the important thing, all the students are safe. One did injure an ankle in the skirmish just trying to get out of the school. Of course, the school resource officer plays an important role in events like this, and Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kate Smith joins us now here at Dalton High School with that part of the story.
That's right, David. I spoke to several police officers who were running into the high school when students were being evacuated and hiding in classrooms, and they say it's exactly what you see on TV, and the moments were absolutely horrifying. We learned this afternoon that the school's resource officer was actually at the middle school's campus and not the high school's campus when he got the call. The school's principal radioed that Mr. Davison was not acting normal and he wasn't allowing students into his classroom. The principal tried entering the classroom, and that's when Mr. Davison said that he had a gun. Immediately, the school's principal went on the radio and said that the school was now on a threat lockdown and the school's resource officer was on his way back to the high school. I am told that threat lockdown is practiced often by students, and it's something they never wanted to do in real life.
And a lot of brave teachers today do a lot of brave acts, and so I appreciate them deeply. They did exactly what we trained to do, and so that if anything out of all this, that was good to see.
The school's resource officer is the one that got Mr. Davison in custody. He has been with the Dalton High School for only 2 to 3 years now, and parents were told not to go to the high school to pick up their children. Instead, they were directed to go to the Northwest Georgia Convention Center, and that's where we find Cameron Taylor with more.
And Kate, parents continue to pick up their kids this afternoon from the convention center. I want to show you, there's parents still spilling in, getting their kids. There was quite a long line when we were in there just a few minutes ago, but this is where parents have been told to pick up their kids and not the high school. Kids were taken here by a bus. We want to show you some of that video. There were several school buses that came here to the convention center, and parents are still rushing to get their children this afternoon. Understandably, a lot of them are upset. They were waiting for more information. One student we spoke with who was in a classroom nearby says that he heard a loud bang. He was in the classroom next door to the teacher. And from there, the teacher told them to hunker down behind desks. That was his teacher in the other classroom, and that was used to protect themselves. And this student had no idea what was going on initially, but says he was frightened by what he heard.
She was, everybody take cover, turn off your cell phones, and be quiet. And then she made sure everyone was all right, and then she just made sure it was good. And then she started looking outside the window, making sure everything was okay. And then by then, the police officers came inside and told us to run to the gym.
And those are some things that students and teachers are told they need to do whenever a situation like this arises. I was told they are on a code red for a threat, and students I spoke with never expected that a teacher would be involved in something like this. They say teachers are the ones that are supposed to protect them, and understandably they're upset, and many of them saying that they don't want to return to school, but we are still waiting on to find out if that will be the case, if school will be in session tomorrow. For now, live in Dalton, Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Cameron. Parents were scrambling to reach their children who were inside Dalton High School. Natalie Potts has been following social media, and you can tell us how parents and students were using that to communicate.
Yeah, Cindy, it was absolutely terrifying, as you can imagine. One parent we talked to shared those terrifying moments. She tried to reach her daughter today. Anne-Marie Jacobs received a text from her daughter Emma saying they were, quote, "We're under a threat attack," and, quote, "It's real." Moments later, another text saying a teacher had locked himself in a room and was, quote, "freaking out, yelling." A few texts later, she wrote, "He has a gun." Then, quote, "People are saying he's holding kids inside of his room, but I don't know." We later learned that Davidson was in fact barricaded in a classroom by himself. Anne-Marie shared with us the text she sent pleading with her daughter to answer the phone. Her daughter could not answer because the teacher was blocking the door with a desk and had instructed students to stay quiet. Not knowing what was happening, Emma then writes to her mother saying, "The SWAT team is here." Now, this cell phone video from inside the school shows students running for the exit in a panic. Police say at least one student suffered an ankle injury during that chaos. That student was treated on the scene and is okay. Students we talked to say teachers encouraged them to be quiet as they ran. The teacher police say is responsible for all of this is also receiving support on social media. Many who know him are asking for prayers. Students are also posting about Davidson, saying he was a role model, making it hard to understand why this has happened. Cindy?